Well, it is Tea Tuesday today, so happy #Tea Tuesday to everybody. And I am here, well, this is a lefty mug because there's no face or any, yes, that's Ginger. No face on the other side here, but my Santa Claus mug. Happy Tea Tuesday. We are rounding up the week here, heading right into Christmas weekend. I hope you're all done shopping out there. You've got everything all planned out, what to do for the weekend, where you're going, how you're going to do it, that sort of thing. We do. We're not doing very much at all, but we'll be home and enjoying the day. We are meeting up with family Thursday night for our Christmas dinner out. And that should be a nice little celebration. So anyway, William had a doctor appointment on Monday, and on our way home we stopped at the grocery store to pick up a few things, and I tell you, that store was packed. It was really bad. And we were in there about, I'd say it was mid-afternoon, like around 1 o'clock. I couldn't believe how busy it was, but that was nice. Everybody's getting prepared. I'm sure glad we already are prepared. We were just in there getting some last minute things that we needed to stock up on, you know, like each week we stock up on these goods. So anyway, one of the things that I did get was this. What I have here is Ghirardelli chocolates. This is a little holiday snowman assortment. There's one that is sea salt caramel, milk chocolate caramel, oh, and the sea salt is a dark chocolate, a peppermint bark, and then just a milk chocolate. But you get 4 different flavors in the bag, and I believe it was something like $9.99. Okay, Ghirardelli is expensive, but we have enjoyed these, and I'm going to have a few of them for along with my tea for this Tea Tuesday. So, first of all, I guess what I'm going to do is show you this week's sewing video. I did finish, maybe I shouldn't tell you. Well, I kind of started, didn't I? Kind of gave it away. But, well, let me put in the sewing video right here and stop talking and watch the video, okay? So, roll on December's quilt block. We're back here in my sewing room again today, and we are going to finish up the Pioneer Sampler quilt. Well, not totally finish the quilt, but finish up a year's worth of blocks that I've been working on for the sampler quilt. And today we are working on this one, this block, Kentucky Chain. Okay? It doesn't look too bad, so are you ready to start it with me? I'm ready to get it started and finished and get this quilt over with. I still haven't decided yet how I'm going to end up putting all those blocks and this one for December together. Because usually all you do is, well, you can put a sash in between the blocks or not, sew them together, and then put a backing on it in between some batting. But some of those blocks, the pattern itself goes like to the very edge. So if I were to sew the blocks together or sew a sash to the block, it takes away some of the edging to it. So I'm not too sure how I'm going to do it. I've even thought about appliquing, and I'm not totally crazy about appliquing, let me tell you. Not that amount of appliquing that would be necessary to put it together, but we'll see. Let's get started and get this December block done, okay? Come on and see what the fabric is that I've got all cut out here, and we're going to start sewing. Now, this is the fabric that I'm working with today, and well, let's start with this one. This is my light material, and actually I was to cut 4.5-inch squares, which I did, and then it said to cut diagonally. So you're making 2 triangles per square, and I already took care of that. So that's my light material that I'm working with. And then my medium material is this. Okay, the directions said to first cut a strip 2 3/4 by 36 inches long, and then divide that into 4 2 3/4 by 4-inch pieces, which I have here. Okay, and also 2 2 3/4 by 9.5 strips. So I have those there. That's my medium. My dark is this, and the same thing. It called for a strip of 2 3/4 inches by 36 inch long, and then to divide that first into these 2 3/4 by 4-inch pieces. Okay, and I did that, and then to divide it into 2 2 3/4 by 9.5 inch strips again. So I have all my pieces cut out here, ready to be sewn together, because I've already pressed them down too. How I'm going to start is with these little rectangles. So let me put the long pieces aside. So I'm working with these, and how it says to do it is right sides together. Here. And actually it goes this way. I'm going to do right sides together and do a 1/4 inch seam along that line, and do all of these squares. And they're not squares, they're rectangles, okay? I keep saying square. But anyway, I'm going to be attaching one triangle to all of these pieces. Let's see, how did that go again? This way, this way. Okay, on one side of each of them. And then when that's all done, come back and do the other side, same way. Okay, let me get to sewing these 8 pieces together, because I've got 4 of the medium and 4 of the dark that I'm going to add triangles to. Let me get this all sewn and pressed, and I'll be back to show you what the next step is. Something's wrong. I sewed one piece together of the medium just to see how it would go. Okay, so that took 2 of my triangle pieces, and I sewed my dark and all but one of my medium pieces on one side. I still have to go back over and do the other, the opposite side here, but I have no more light triangles. So back to the book. This is what I'm doing right now. Trying to finish up this step, but I ran out of the light so that I could go do the other side of the triangle. So something is wrong here in the direction. What could it possibly be? Here's my cutting directions. I cut 4 4 1/4 squares of my light material, which made the triangles, and then it said cut on the diagonal, which I did. So that gave me 8 triangles. However, perhaps that should have said 8 4 1/4 squares light, because I need a total of 16. And I was looking down here, of course, but I guess you have to be sure and take in the whole picture. I need to cut 4 more 4 1/4 squares of light, and then cut them on the diagonal. So let me get going with that. Then I can finish this step. Alright, I've got my extra triangles all made. So let me finish sewing these pieces together. me get these cut apart and pressed, and I'll bring you back and we'll go to the next step. I have all my triangle pieces taken care of with my dark rectangles and with my medium rectangles, so we'll set those aside for right now. There. And now I have to work with my larger rectangles, my dark and my medium pieces. And what it says to do is to fold these in half lengthwise like this, and I'll take it over and I'll press it down so it'll stay, but press all of these rectangles in half, and then I'm going to arrange this with these. I also need to take these triangle pieces and fold them in half. Okay, I'm going to press those too. I'll bring it back after that's all done. Okay, so I have my fabric ironed first of all in half this way. Now I need to go back and press them in half this way. Okay, so let me go take care of that. This is what I end up with so far. This is my dark strip and then two medium pieces here. I'll be sewing these together, you know, this way here, matching the lines that I pressed into the fabric. I'll be matching those. This is my medium strip with the dark rectangles here that I'll be doing the same way, sewing those together. So let me get the pieces all together and we'll see what the next step is. Alright, I'm ready to start sewing on this and the first piece. And yes, it did say to pin. Okay, so I'm going to get this stitched on each pair here that I did, and then I'll go back and pin these on to the other side and get those stitched up. These are the squares all done, all pressed. Now I need to trim them up to 6.5 inch squares. Okay, so it'll be more uniform around. And I'm just going to use this, and it says to pick a corner, any corner. And I'm going to square it up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right now it's a total of 8 inches, and they say to trim it up to 6.5 inches. So let me get going on that. Well, this was a little bit of a challenge because I do not have the proper squaring up ruler for these. So what I ended up doing is making a template just out of cardboard. It's 6.5 inch square, and I trimmed up my blocks, my individual blocks. So these are 6.5 inch squares. It's going to be sewn together like this. So let me get it put together and pressed, and then we'll see what we're going to do. But let me tell you, with this 6.5 inch square up, I cut off this much material from my blocks, and I was a little bit leery, thinking, I hope I'm doing the right thing, but it looks fine. It looks like it turned out just fine. These are going to be sewn together right to left, and then when these two pieces are sewn together, then you just kind of fold it on itself and do the center seam and get it pressed. Okay, let's get sewing. Well, everybody, it is a new day. I kind of got sidetracked or detoured or whatever. I didn't get back to show you the other day the finished product, but let me just refresh. I was working on December's block, which is the Kentucky chain. And this is from Quilt In A, Pioneer Sampler by Eleanor Burns. And I have been working on this all year long, one quilt block at a time each month. And I'm happy to say I stuck with the commitment. I did the best that I could. And there were some months that were rather challenging, actually, and I didn't really have anybody to go to for assistance. I just plodded ahead and figured it out, and I think it turned out okay. Well, put it this way, I'm pleased with the way it turned out, and I am very pleased to have finished the project. This is, well, some loose threads here. This is the December block that I did. Okay. It is finished. And I'm rather pleased with the fact that I stuck to it for a whole year and did the whole, well, it was a collaboration to begin with, but I'm the only one that ended up finishing it, so yay me, I guess. But this will go back on the wall here in that empty square. I have other sewing projects that I'm going to work on, so stay tuned. I'm really excited to get started on some of them, and I'll take you along with me. I hope you've enjoyed this series. Like I say, a lot of you have come along with me for the whole year, and I'm really glad that happened. I really appreciate it. And I hope you got some tips on what to do, and you were interested to do some sewing on your own as well, okay? So, I'm done sewing for a while now. Probably just until next month, but a different project. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed that. I have enjoyed working on this quilt, or these quilt blocks, all year long, each month, doing a block a month. Some of them have been rather challenging, yeah, a couple of them, but I struggled through, and I think I did a pretty doggone good job, if I do say so myself. Now I just have to figure out how exactly I'm going to put this together and make it into a quilt top. But I think I've kind of decided what I'm going to do, and I will be doing that into next year, along with some other sewing projects too, because now that I have this beautiful new machine that I really am enjoying playing with, I will be doing some more sewing, and I'll take you along with me. Now keeping in mind, I am not an expert sewist. I do not give lessons. I take lessons, but I enjoy doing what I do. So I'm going to share it with you. And until then, I guess this will be it, except I'm going to get into one of these. This one is a peppermint bark, little Ghirardelli. So let me rip it open here. I like this one a lot. I like the peppermint. I do like peppermint and chocolate together. Okay. And this one is so cute. I don't know if you can see him real close, but he's white chocolate with peppermint flecks, and then the back side is milk chocolate. My snowman has been beheaded for a good cause. Me. Anyway, I hope you all have a very blessed Merry Christmas. I don't think anyway, I will be videoing again on Friday, because that's Christmas Eve. So until after the holidays, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. You take care, and I'll be talking to you again in a few days. Well, in about a week, okay? Until then, you take care. Bye for now. It's worth the money.